Well, good morning. I think we'll go ahead and get started. We are expecting some more students to file in, making their way over to Cornell Auditorium. So again, this is a Czech semester presentation about marketing Petrof pianos all over the world. Petrof is the largest producer of acoustic grand and upright pianos in Europe. It trades in 5 continents and exports to over 65 countries the world over. And it dates back to 1864. We're pleased to have Anna Prousková with us this morning as our speaker. She is the 6th generation of the Petrof family participating in the management of the company. She graduated in international trade from the University of Economics in Prague. At age 16, she started working for the family company. Since then, she went through marketing, domestic, and foreign trade. In 2018, she became the director of the PETROF Gallery Cultural Center, and 2 years later, she became the company's commercial director. She is currently in charge of domestic and foreign trade development in pianos, the e-shop, and social cultural events organized in the PETROF Gallery. So please join me in welcoming Anna Prousková. Thank you, Anna.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Chad, very much for the introduction, and thank you very much for inviting me for this lecture. So let me start the presentation, which will be mostly about marketing and our business activities all around the world, because I've heard that there is majority of business students, if I'm right. Here I will show you a video of our company so that you have better idea what we are doing, and then I will describe a bit. I'm sorry, just to make sure, is it better now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. Well, so this was briefly what we are doing here. it was an introduction into our factory. If you would like to see more, we also organize factory tours because we have our family museum where my aunt is actually the director Ivana Prousková, Petrofová, I'm sorry. So you are very welcome here in the Czech Republic to see everything we have here. This is the mission of our family and of our business, to allow pianists and listeners to enjoy beautiful moments. As you can see here, some of them are having them also here in our space or in other properties or at their homes and so on. So our vision is to be a reliable and stable partner, not only to the dealers or distributors where we sell to, but also to the final customers, because we give 5 years of warranty, and we really take care of the instruments around the world. We want to be an inspirative company, so we have a very productive R&D department, and we are developing our product not only in the technical terms, but also in the design and colors and so on. So currently we also mix all different colors which we can use for the surfaces of the instruments. We are also a big fighter for the acoustic piano because it is quite challenging with all the other free time activities, especially computers and so on. And if we go to the field of musical instruments, it's also a big challenge to compete with the digital pianos, since they are cheaper, smaller, and so on. But they do not offer such a big variety of sound, so this is actually our advantage. And we are also a member of many associations, such as Musical Industry Association, and also International Family Business Network. So we gather together with other family businesses and also with other musical instrument producers, and we try to support each other very much in this, especially in these difficult times. We try to develop our company sustainably, not only with the family generations, but we also try to implement sustainable materials and so on. As you may know, piano can be passed through generations, so it's a product which can survive 100 years and still play. So it's actually quite a good investment, and it's something which can remain for a long time. Here you can see why our customers like the pianos. One of the main differences is, as you could see in the video, we are a European manufacturer, and also Chet mentioned that. We are the biggest one currently in Europe, and we make more than 80% of the instruments by hands. Of course, it involves some machinery, but still it's mainly handwork, and every piece is an original. And we do it in the factory in Hradec Králové in the Czech Republic. For that, we use the premium European materials, mainly from the Czech Republic, Germany, Austria, and Italy. We use many kind of woods, more than 15 types, and you can see all of this. If you come here, we can explain you much more. One of our characteristics is the romantic tone, which we have, a very full, rich, and round one, which is actually very different, especially from the Chinese production or Yamaha production. It's more characteristic of European piano manufacturers. We have a long tradition since 1864, when my great-great-grandfather established the company. You can see him in the picture. Since then, we have survived 2 world wars. By that time, we were not actually allowed to produce musical instruments because no one would buy them. There were many other issues than, you know, well-being. So we had to focus on something else, and we produced, for example, the boxes for munition and other things for, unfortunately, the weapon industry. Then we had a break in our company because in 1948 communists came and they took our company, as they did to all other entrepreneurs, because everything was state-owned during the communism era. So we lost not only the factory, but also actually our family properties, and some members of the family were imprisoned, some worked in minery and so on. So it was a difficult time for everyone. But finally, Velvet Revolution came in 1989, and communism was over. So my grandfather went to the government to ask to give him the factory back, and the response was that they will give us only 4% of the factory, and the 96% we had to buy, because during the communism there was a focus on high employment. So they actually expanded the factory from 1 to 5 factories, and there was 1,000 of employees. So after all of this, my mother came in 2004, and she restructured the company from those 5 factories into 1. And also the number of employees was reduced from 1,000 to 200. So it was, of course, not easy for her, but she had to do it, otherwise the company couldn't survive. And we also had to pay off the huge loan which we took for buying the company. So after that, she focused a lot on the development of the factory, and fortunately she was very successful, so the company started to be profitable. And then also me and my husband joined the company. So I used to be the commercial director till July, and now I even had to switch the position for the CEO of the factory, because as you can see, there are many challenges on the market, such as COVID, war, and so on, and we need to take quick actions to be able to react on everything. So me and my mother decided to separate the roles. So she is the president, and she is representing the company in all the associations. Also, she is the advisor to the government, and I am now managing the internal processes in the factory, actually. As I mentioned, we have a Department of Research and Development, which was actually held during the communism era. So this was something good about that, and we still continue. We construct new models, and also we try to satisfy all the customers' needs and improve the product all the time. We still have quite an advantage if I compare our product to the competition, because the majority of our competition is one part in Asia, actually, but it's a bit different range of products because of the quality and price. But if we compare the same level, then we need to be compared with the German pianos, which fortunately for us have much higher cost for the production, especially the labor cost is much higher there. So then we can easily compete with the price because quality, the materials used and everything is very similar. We provide very wide range of products, also in the number of brands, which I will explain to you later on, but also the models, since, for example, some of the producers concentrate only on grand pianos or only on upright pianos. We make both because it actually helps us with the cost management, and then we can also get a much wider group of final customers. Here is the brand portfolio which we have and which we actually export into the world. We have the premium brand Antonín Petrof, which is the highest one, where we have only 3 models, and for the 160th anniversary we would like to introduce 1 model more. This brand was established for our 150th anniversary as an honor to the founders, so it has the name Ant as Antonín and then Petrof. PETROF brand is our core brand, and this is the main production which we have. So it's 1,500 maximum capacity which we produce here per year. But the number depends very much on the economic cycle. And Petrof is also produced here in our factory. Weinbach brand, it's the cheapest one from this portfolio. This is actually produced together with our Chinese partner in Guangzhou, in Ningbo in Hailun factory. So we supply our construction and they are building the instruments there under our supervision. And this is how we can cut the costs and offer something to the customers who cannot afford the Petrof or the Ant Petrof brand. Here are other Petrof family brands which we offer, but not into the world, but we keep this strictly in China. Those are the brands which we sell in China and also produce in China with our partners. It is actually very good for us because we supply them again our construction, we do the supervision, and we get a license fee back from this. So they are manufacturing, they are selling, but we get, let's say, a pure profit for us, because of course there is some costs connected, but it is not that much as if you actually have to manage the whole production. So this helped us very much when there was the economic crisis in 2009, and because of that we were able to survive if we compare it to the other brands, because many of the German competitors had to be sold, unfortunately, to Chinese factories or Japanese. So this time there is only few other family factories left in the factory, in the industry, I'm sorry. It's, for example, the Fazioli, who are Italians, then Steingräber, and then Sauter, and maybe 2 more, but the rest, Schimmel, Grotrian, and many others, also, unfortunately, Besendorfer, which was one of the best pianos in the world, they were sold to Chinese or Japanese. So this was very good luck for us that we had this kind of license business, which is also helping us this time very much. Here you can see the structure of our customers in general. it is not divided strictly to B2B and B2C. I will explain you about our B2B partners a bit later, but here it's mainly divided into institutions and let's say the persons who are buying our pianos. So our main group is families actually and hobby players, because our production is divided into grand pianos and upright pianos, as I told you, and actually only 10% of the production is the grand pianos. So our main focus, or not focus, the main volume of the production is the upright pianos, which is usually 1,200, or even last year it was more than 1,300. And then one of the biggest groups is art schools and universities, where we usually go through tenders, and we can also go there directly, but mainly we cooperate with our partners because we do not want to create a competition to them. This is about the real B2B partners, so the shops who are trading the pianos together with us all around the world. They are divided into dealers and distributors. We try to use the dealership as much as possible, because then it doesn't create the extra margin for the distributor. But of course, in some territories, it's inevitable, because it would be too difficult to manage all the market. Also, not everyone is allowed to import the goods and so on. And it's difficult to supply the bigger companies and to have the control all over the country to do proper marketing and so on. So in bigger areas, such as, for example, China or also the United States, we have distributors, and in other smaller countries, or even some big countries which are close to us, such as Germany, for example, we have a net of dealers. B2B business is 90% of our sales, because 90% of the sales is the export. As Chad told you as well, we are exporting into more than 65 countries all around the world. So for that, we need to have reliable partners, because it's not possible, of course, to manage everything just from one place. The requirements of partners in B2B business differ very much from the B2C, since they have much higher requirements in terms of quality. They care especially about the components, about the materials, if the quality is sufficient enough, where it comes from, and so on, which are not that much things of interest of the final customers. We try to build very long-term relationships with our partners, so with some of them we trade more than 60 years, for example, such as in Japan or also Hong Kong, and in Mexico we also have a very long-term dealership. The B2B segment is traded with a wholesale price list, where it is also possible to provide some quantity discounts, or for the first supply we usually offer the discount as a first support, a part of the marketing support. The transportation and packing is very different, actually, because, for example, in the Czech Republic or also in some neighboring countries in Europe, we use a specialized transporter who transports pianos only, and he has a special car for that, which is arranged almost for example 30 pianos, and they are very in the secure room. They do not need any special packing, so they are just in a very simple cover. But In other countries in Europe, we usually use the lorries and so on, but for that we need to use the carton packing. And for other continents, we usually use the boat transportation because it's much cheaper than the air transport. But for that, we really need to have special packing, including an aluminum foil, which protects the instruments from humidity and other bad factors such as insects and so on. So this is how we try to protect the instruments. If there is, for example, one piece of instrument and it's not a complete container, we need to use wooden box because it happens quite often, unfortunately, that the pianos are damaged on the way. There are also certain trade risks and barriers on the way. One of the biggest barriers is the administration process, because in some countries the importers are obliged to have importing licenses, and it's very hard to get them. For example, in China or South America as well. So this is one of the biggest barriers they have in these countries. And then as well, the custom process is sometimes very complicated. Sometimes it even involves corruption and so on. So it happens that the pianos stay on the border for a couple of months before the custom process is finalized. So this is one of the risks we have to take into some countries. Then there are the import taxes or luxury good taxes or duties, which are applied on imported goods in some countries, for example, South America or India. This is why we do not export that much into these countries, or even zero, because then it's very expensive for the customers to afford such an expensive piano when the price is doubled. There can be also some restrictions to protect the national industry, such as in Argentina. So, for example, there is a production of benches, of piano benches, but there is not a production of pianos. So when we want to send the pianos there, if we include the benches, it's a big problem because they cannot be imported into Argentina because of the import restrictions. So you firstly need to take everything off the container, and they just, let's say, destroy the benches, and then they can import the pianos. So these are the things which may happen on the journey and which actually appear to our business. The risk factors, one of the biggest ones is the payment conditions. We usually try to keep the advanced payment or the payment when the goods are delivered. Also, sometimes we use the letter of credit, but actually the administration process is quite difficult, especially with the developing countries. So then it takes you more time to prepare everything, and the efficiency is not that high later on. So finally, we usually go back to the advance payment or something like this. We need to be very careful because it happened in the past that we sold, or let's say we gave the pianos into commission, and then after the crisis we never got them back. So that's why we try to be very cautious about the payment conditions. Also, as I talked, there is a high risk of transport damages. So for that, we use the Incoterms conditions so that it is very clear who takes care of what, and the insurance is very necessary to have. Otherwise, all the costs goes on the certain side. So we usually use the FCA or FOB for the container transportation. And if we are sending just one piece of piano, then sometimes we use the delivered at place condition. It's for those who know that. So. For our small country, exchange rate is also an issue because we have our own currency, the Czech crown, so we need to protect also against this risk. We use the currency hedging with our bank, so when the crown is very strong, which is not very good for us, then we get a less amount of money for €1. As the situation is, for example, now, it's better for us to have the currency hedging so that we get the compensation from the bank finally. There are also economic and political situation issues, such as in the USA, for example, in the past, it was very hard time for us after the September 2001, because after the tragedy, the US market went down very much. Actually, in the past, it was one of the biggest markets for piano sales, and for us, it was 60% of the turnover. So we had to restructure the sales and also diversify the risks. And now it's China actually who is the leading country and the biggest market. So also the sales dropped very much, not only to us, but also to the competition, since there are still the lockdowns because of the COVID. So we hope it gets better soon, but still it's very, very difficult to manage the business there. And then unfortunately Russia, it was 10% of our turnover, and now with the restrictions, I'm sorry, I just with all the restrictions of European Union, we are not allowed to sell there anymore. I'm sorry. So we are trying to focus on different territories. This is the advantage of the sales in the whole world, because then you can try to diversify the risks. And we also build also the furniture and so on. So we are trying to develop the factory also in other ways. Then B2C, it's mainly Czech Republic and also the institutions. We have the 10% of our turnover is in the Czech Republic because we are a well-known company here. With a long tradition, so usually the Czech customers, when they decide to buy a piano, we are one of the first choices. So we would like to have it, of course, everywhere else, but in the Czech Republic it's the best position. So the customers from B2C, they usually have many special requirements, but they are very different from the B2B market. It's more related with design or the sound of the piano. So we can do different shapes, for example, of grand piano, or different colors, as well with the upper. I'm sorry. It's not COVID, fortunately, but probably it's because I'm speaking too low in a row. And then the sound, because as you could see in the video, there was one of the voicers who took the hammerhead into the hand with the needle, and that's the way how you can actually manage the sound of the piano is to soften the hammerhead with the needle, or to make it more tough with a special type of glue. So this is how you can make the sound more round or more sharp, actually. And sometimes, especially the institutions do have some kind of special criteria for the sound, especially because of the genre, for example, they play and so on. The romantic sound is very good for jazz, but for some kind of, for example, film music, the sharp sound can be a bit better. It depends. Here we have domestic market price list, which is very similar to the recommended price list we have for Europe. Since the countries are very close to each other and we do not want our partners to compete with each other in the price segment, so we issue a recommended price list for the Europe and especially European Union. In the United States, some of you may know the Piano Buyer book, which helps with the process of buying a piano, and there are also suggested prices of the manufacturers. So here you can find all the basic information, actually, and then it's up to resellers to give you more detailed information. The delivery is, as I told you, with the specialized transporter, but then also a special kind of service needs to be made because after the piano settle in the new room, it has to be tuned and also regulated. So this is the service which we offer for the first delivery. Here you can see a custom-made upright piano. It was one of our customers who owns actually this kind of building in Prague, and he wanted to have the same design piano inside the building. So we produced this kind of very modern piano with this actually design. Then we can also do something different with the grand pianos, as you can see here, the yellow one with golden halftones. Actually, it was very difficult to manage in the R&D department because there is not that many materials you can use for the halftones, so that they are not very heavy and the piano still plays good. If you use brass, it wouldn't be that heavy, but it would get black after certain times of usage. So it was actually a very long process to develop this with nitrate of titanium, which was colored like this for gold. So we hope it will survive forever now. It's not only the special design what we do in the innovations department, but we also try to focus on new things, such as digital supplements to our pianos, which is actually helping us to deal with the smaller flats and so on. So you can have either the acoustic piano, or you can use this at silent, and you play the acoustic piano with the same touch, with the same response, but you hear it only with your headphones. So this is something which many of the customers like, and we actually have double sales every year because the flats are getting smaller and smaller and the neighbors more nervous. So also we cooperate with the Modart company, where you can use the Pianotech software for composing the music, so that you download the sound of our grand pianos and you can use it for the compositions in your computer. So this is for actually the advanced players or composers, let's say. Also, we use the self-player system for the people who dream of having a piano, but they do not have the ability to play. so they can buy a grand piano together with the soft player system, which plays for them, and the sound is still the same acoustic one. We try to build a strong network of artists in our Petrov Art Family, which was founded in 2018. And here you can see a couple of the artists. It's cross genres, and it's a cooperation between the artist and us. We like to call it as a family because we do have a personal relationship of majority of them. Only now we do have some new players who we do not know yet because they are from China and we are not allowed to travel there, but our dealers there have very good relations with them. So this is what we do together. Then we organize the concert tours, also shoot videos and do a lot cooperation. I will show you a bit of it in a second. In terms of marketing, we divide it as usual into online and offline marketing. The online is divided into brand and performance marketing. As you can see, the brand is the majority because, you know, piano is not something you really buy after you see an advertisement. It's a long buying process, so we need to build the brand awareness first, and then we can support it with the performance marketing. For that, we use mainly Facebook ads and also Google ads. They help us very much to build the awareness and also keep the people to take the action and to buy the piano. This is actually mainly good for the Weinbach pianos, which are cheaper, so then we can also do some kind of price let's say offer, and then the people buy the piano more easily. As well, we build the social media channels such as YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, and TikTok. We are just only starting. The main focus now for us is on YouTube because especially with the COVID, when it was not possible to go into the shop, it was very important for the people to see that something is happening, to see the piano, how it appears, how it sounds, and so on. So this is our focus now. With that, we mainly support the brand marketing, and it starts with the Petrov Colors project. For that, we use the known YouTubers. Some of them you can see in the picture, and also there are a few more names which have already participated in the project. It's based on a very simple white environment with colorful pianos inside, so that you are mainly attracted by the piano player and also by the piano itself. I will show you a short video. Just give me a second. I need to rearrange the sharing of the screen. Well, so this was just a short tasting of what we are doing here. I will now go back to the presentation. It's just a bit slow because of the internet connection, so please give me a while again. I hope you can all see it well. We also organize acoustic sessions with mainly Czech artists, where we combine let's say singers with the piano players. So it's usually some famous band or singer who is performing the song in not very traditional way, because they usually perform with a big band, and now it's only in the acoustic version, usually with the piano only. Here you can see also several names. It's not only singers, as you can see Lacodechi here, the trumpetist, but usually we try to focus on that and to give two songs like this, and then there is also an interview with the artists, and it became very popular in the Czech Republic actually. I'm sorry, I will try to show you again if possible.
Já vím, že nemůžeš kvést, že je v ložnici tma. No mohl jsem se splést, snad si odpustit smím. A dost bylo gest, jsme prohraná hra. Ale jak ji mám snést, tak poraď mi s tím. Prosím, poraď mi s tím. Lásko, poraď mi s tím.
Už je to tak, prostě přišlo to teď. Jsem tvůj nečtený brak, sama pod sebou stín. Už poznám ten tlak, když koušeš cigaret a chceš se nás zdát. No a co já teď s tím? Lásko, co já teď s tím?
Well, so this is something we do mainly for the Czech Republic, and we are actually now thinking of spreading it also into the world with some foreign artists. So we hope we will be able to do it soon, but of course we have limited capacity for shooting the videos. So. Here you can see a few of the videos we actually shoot it in recent times. So if you want, you can join the YouTube channel and you can see more of that and have some nice time. We also have to work very much on the website, especially in the COVID era, or the online marketing became to be much more powerful, and actually the majority of the users stayed with the online world. So we still have to develop. This is how the website used to look. Also, it was good for COVID because it was actually the situation where no one could come into the theater and into the halls to hear. So one of our claims was that music is a gift you can give to yourself. Now we refreshed the website to look more younger and positive, and for that we have the Czech artists there who were also performing with the acoustic sessions. We also have a blog where you can find articles about the process of choosing the piano, the maintenance of the piano. Actually, the most powerful one is the difference between upright and grand piano. So for those who don't know, the upright one is the one you could see in the picture with the building. It's the piano you can just put along the wall, and the grand piano is the big one with the shape of a wing. We also shooted the 360,000 and 60. I'm sorry, I cannot talk any much longer. So the round photos, let's say, it's a bit difficult for me because English is not my maternity language. So I hope you can forgive me. It was very good again in the COVID era because the people were not allowed to go into the shops for quite a long period. So we developed this so that they could easily look into all the details in their home to search for the piano from different angles and actually discover also the colors and everything. To have even better comfort, we are now working on a configurator so that you can change the color of the piano in certain models, and you can use the piano and put it into the photo of your interior, so you can easily imagine how the piano will fit. For better comfort and visual, sorry, the audio, we made the audio samples. So we chose the best sold models from grand and also upright pianos, and we recorded few of the compositions so that people can listen to the sound of the piano they choose easily in their homes, and they are not interrupted by anything. Because, you know, when the shops were closed, we got quite a lot of requests to buy the piano via emails, but we were not able to really give the service to the customers to explain them everything, because piano is quite a big investment, and it's also very complicated product, and so it needs to be well described, well shown, and if possible, it needs to be demonstrated alive. But if it wasn't possible, we needed to find a way. So we did those videos, those audio samples, and also the 3D pictures. Here you can see the interactive search for showrooms, which we implemented in recent months as well, so that you only insert the city and you can easily find the closest shops to you. What we do for offline is a lot of fairs and exhibitions, but they were actually reduced during the COVID period, and after that they are not that powerful anymore, I must say. So we used to go to many fairs during the year, especially to Frankfurt in Germany, then to Shanghai in China, NEM Show in Anaheim, also Cremona in Italy. But now the time has changed very much, and some of the exhibitions even do not exist anymore. One of the most traditional ones were the Frankfurt Fair, where all the musical industry went usually it was in April, and they gathered together, they shared the experience, they were also selling, including us. But now after COVID, there was not many people who would want to go there, so everything was closed, and there is only few more which remain. Now we also go to the design fairs, because with the colorful and also different designs of the pianos, we aim into a different range of customers. So here you can see how our piano looked in the design block, which is a design exhibition in Prague. For the PR, we mainly used my mother, who is the face of our company now. So we usually make the interviews with her for many magazines and newspapers in the Czech Republic and also abroad. Here are some printed materials. As you can see, we mainly use light or very dark colors so that our golden logo is visible well, and it's not too many colors in one. So this is a bit different design from, for example, our Chinese partners in China. If we usually do the marketing to China, we just send them pictures and they are doing their own posters with all the colors and everything, stars and everything, which is very interesting to them. We are still using the printed catalogs, even when a lot of companies are not using them anymore. The piano industry is actually a very conservative one, and also the product is expensive, so we still need to offer the customers some kind of comfort with having the possibility of printed magazines. Here you can see one of the most interesting places where we have our grand piano. This one is called Kabelovna. It's a recording studio in Prague, and it's owned by a composer, Karel Havlíček, which is very active also in the United States, and he composed, for example, the music for the Batman movie. So this is one of the things which we are very happy for. On stages, we also have our pianos worldwide, and currently during the COVID era, one of the newest things is that we have our premium model Antonín Petrof in Rudolfinum, which is the biggest hall, or the most famous hall, let's say, in the Czech Republic. It's the headquarters of the Czech Philharmonic. Because of the communism era, we didn't really have that many money we could invest into a representative showroom. So finally in 2017 we built the PETROF Gallery, which is a cultural center, and it actually includes a showroom with grand pianos, also with upright pianos, and we cooperated with the most famous Czech companies here in the Czech Republic in terms of design and also the acoustics, because it was very important for us, since this whole building used to be a production hall and then finally a stock place, but you know, during the communism, there was 10,000 of instruments built every year, and now the number is totally somewhere different. We are producing only 15% of that, so we do not need such a big stock area. So we wanted to rebuild it for something interesting. And we knew that the thing we need the most is the representative showroom and also the meeting place. So we also have our own cafe here, where we organize small concerts and events with book writers, or also with the painters, because we also have exhibitions of paintings here periodically. Every 2 months we are changing the artists. So we try to build some good area for the people to be connected and to stay in touch with the music. A part of the cafe, we also have a big concert hall here, where we organize a lot of kinds of events, such as balls, conferences for doctors, mainly concerts, of course, because we want to present our instruments. This is, for example, the picture from the Forbes event, which we organized together with the Forbes magazine for the 100 years of anniversary of our republic. So it was a very nice event, and we hope to organize some similar in the future again. So this is basically what we do in our factory and our company, and now I would like to let you ask the questions if you want to. And as I told you, you are welcome in the Czech Republic, and if you have any questions, you can contact me by the email which you can see on the screen.